Dear students, today we are going to discuss Michelson-Morley experiment. First of all, we take background of this experiment, that is why this experiment was performed. Actually, this experiment was performed to confirm the existence of hypothetical medium ether and to detect the speed of Earth in it. If an observer is moving with speed v, opposite or along the propagation of light, the speed of light c0 in the frame of the observer is given by c0 is equal to c plus minus v. Such an inertial frame in which the speed of light is c in all directions is an absolute reference system, which is actually hypothetical and called as ether medium. Now we come to the experimental arrangement. So, in this experimental arrangement shown in this diagram, S is a source of monochromatic light placed at focus of convex lens L. The light rays emerging from lens L become parallel and are allowed to fall on a semi-silvered glass plate P inclined at 45 degree. Some part of the light rays is reflected along direction PM1 and some part is refracted along direction PM1. The M1 and M2 are the plane mirrors placed mutually perpendicular to each other and kept at the same distance L from the glass plate. The light rays after reflection from the mirrors M1 and M2 come to the telescope, and since these are the coherent waves, they undergo superposition and form interference circular fringes. The whole apparatus is floated on mercury so that it can be rotated in any direction as desired. The direction PM1 is the direction of motion of Earth and V is the speed of apparatus along direction PM1, which is the speed of Earth in the ether medium. Now we come to the analysis. Time taken by light ray in going from P to M1 and M1 to P, obeying Galilean principle of relative motion. Here PM1 is this direction and the velocity of light along this direction will be c minus v, while the direction while in the direction M1P, the speed will be c plus v. The distance is L. Therefore, time taken by the light ray in going from P to M1 and back from M1 to P will be T1 is equal to L upon c minus v plus L upon c plus v, or is equal to 2LC upon c square minus v square is equal to 2L upon c 1 minus v square upon c square is equal to 2L upon c 1 minus v square upon c square power minus 1, or using binomial theorem and ignoring higher order terms. The time taken will be T1 is equal to T1 is equal to 2L upon c 1 plus v square upon c square. Now we come to the second part of the experiment. We wish to calculate the time taken by the light ray in going from P to M2 and back from M2 to P. For this, we consider that the time taken by the light ray in going from P to M2 is T. This is the distance CT1. When the light ray strikes mirror M2, then the position of mirror M2 becomes M2 dash, and the distance traveled by the apparatus or plate in this direction with velocity v in time t is equal to vt. So this distance is L, and using the Pythagoras theorem, this side square is equal to this side square plus this side square, that is c square t square is equal to v square t square plus L square. So we come to this step of the analysis. C square t square is equal to L square plus v square t square. T square, c square minus v square is equal to L square. T square is equal to L square upon c square 1 minus v square upon c square, or t is equal to L upon c 1 minus v square upon c square is equal to L upon c 1 minus v square upon c square power minus half. Again using binomial theorem and ignoring higher order terms, it comes out to be L upon c 1 plus v square upon 2 c square. Therefore, time taken by light ray in going from P to M2 dash and back from M2 dash to P, it will be doubled. So T2 is equal to 2T is equal to 2L upon C 1 plus V square upon 2C square. So now we have 2 times T1 and T2. Now we have to find out the difference. That is the time interval between the two paths T1 and T2. Delta T is equal to T1 minus T2 is equal to 2L upon C 1 plus V square upon C square minus 2L upon C 1 plus V square upon 2C square, which comes out to be LV square upon C cube. If the apparatus is turned through 90 degree, then path PM1 will be shortened by delta T, while the path PM2 will be lengthened by delta T. Therefore, 90 degree rotation of the apparatus means 2 delta T time interval. The corresponding number of fringes shifted in the field of view. Here we are using this expression, this relation. Delta n is equal to 2 delta T upon capital T, where capital T is the time period of the light used, which is lambda upon c. Therefore, delta n is equal to 2Lv square upon c cube lambda upon c, which is nothing but delta n is equal to 2Lv square upon lambda c square. Now putting the values of all the parameters taken in Michelson-Morley experiment, L is equal to 11 meter, V is equal to 30 into 10 to the power 3 meter per second, lambda is equal to 6000 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter, C is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, which is the velocity of light. On calculating delta n is equal to 0.4, that is approximate value 0.4. This means that according to Galilean principle, the relative velocity of the fringe shift in a 90 degree rotation must be 0.4. So now we are coming to the turning point of the experiment. But no fringe shift was observed. This is actually the turning point of the experiment. This negative result of Michelson-Morley experiment suggests the following. Number 1, addition or subtraction of any velocity to the velocity of light is not correct. That is, the correct concept is C naught is not equal to C plus minus V, as we took in the background of the experiment. Number 2, the speed of light is constant and does not depend upon the motion of source or motion of observer. Number 3, the motion of earth cannot be detected in ether medium. And final, number 4, ether hypothesis was discarded, that is gone. Thank you so much.